You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or their affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is obviously your usual Thursday show. And obviously, this evening I am joined by my co-host, Carl.
Good evening, Sam. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad.
Other than you're obviously feeling a bit under the weather tonight.
Yeah, a little bit under the weather, but I'm holding that in a little bit. So if I disappear off camera, just sorting myself out a little bit.
And obviously we have a very special show, guys, tonight for everybody, because obviously we are joined by the guest who we should have had on last week, Mark Arvilla.
Close.
Damn it.
Just go with the first name, Sam.
Mark and Lauren. And then obviously we have guests on who we have on obviously tonight, and that is Frank Cinelli and Isabelle Clayton.
Hello.
Hello. No fair. She has a proper British name. That's not fair.
It's very true.
Yes.
Well, Mark's pretty British.
Not spelled with a C.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. But yeah, that's true. That is very true. How is everybody?
So.
Doing well.
Sun is shining. It's warm. I have a mug with a skull face on it. And
where's mine?
I don't know. Well, Mark and Lauren have orange solo cups.
Yes, we have Halloween-themed solo cups.
Because it's because it's like 60 degrees here, and for us that's cold. So it's Halloween.
It's like pushing like 80 degrees here.
It's gross.
Yeah. I won't even tell you what it's pushing here at the moment.
Your buttons. It's pushing your buttons, Carl.
Yeah. There's definitely places you can hang coats.
Oh, it's cool.
Oh, I like that. I'll come over there. I'll hang out with you.
Definitely cold over here. So, is everybody okay? All good?
I think so. I was only possessed for a short time today, so I think I'm doing better now. Yeah.
Well, we'll be getting on to possession shortly.
That's 9/10 of the law.
Possession, yes.
Yes.
I can see I'm going to need a chair and a whip to control you for tonight.
Ooh, don't make promises, Carl.
Hey, Sam, Carl, what were you guys thinking having all four of us on?
I know. I must admit, I did think it was going to be a good idea, and then when I suggested it, I was like, right, yeah.
I'm the quiet one.
Oh, yes, Lauren, you are.
Yeah, I beg to differ.
Before we all get in trouble, is this a PG-rated show?
No, you can say whatever you like, obviously within reason, but if the odd colourful language comes out, don't worry about it. I do try not to use colourful language, but sometimes I revert back into type and just speak as I normally speak. So the occasion bad word, but don't feel too bad if it does slip out.
All right. I'll try not to say the F-bombs.
What did you say? Could you speak English, please?
No.
Hey, I like his accent. Reminds me of Sherlock. Leave him alone.
Probably the nicest thing anybody said to me all day.
Now say Dr. Watson.
Dr. Watson.
Yes! Yes! I'm good. I'm done for the interview. I'm good. I got what I needed.
Okay. Well, that was a short and sweet interview. Thank you very much for joining us. We're off. Just for obviously it's amazing having you four on tonight. And obviously I've known you guys for a while now. We've experienced some interesting moments in time. Just for the listeners that are out there, just going from one to the other, can you just give you a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, et cetera, and just for the listeners that are listening out there.
I'll go first. I'll go, of course, that's right. Well, my name's Mark Arvilla, the proper pronunciation, Arvilla, and I'm the founder and lead investigator for Mass Ghost Hunters Paranormal Society. Myself and my fiance Lauren Sheridan, we actually founded or host SalemCon annually in Salem, with the exception of next year in Salem, Massachusetts. And together with our lovely friends Frank and Isabella, who I'm sure we'll chat in a moment, we all just kind of get together and run around with our friend Jen and do what we like to call the Gone Hunting crew, and bebop back and forth. The Gone Hunting hat, which Carl is sporting right now.
Love it.
Carl. But yeah, we it's I don't know. I lost my train of thought. So that's me and Lauren.
What about yourself, Frank? Tell us a little bit. I'm going to leave the best to last. Obviously, Isabella last, but...
Wow. Carl, that hurt.
Would this be one of the times for those F-bombs now?
That's the last time I'm teaching you how to play craps.
Hey, Isabella taught me craps, and she made me win.
So, all right. I'm Frank Cinelli, a.k.a. Dr. Spectre. I'm founder of Team Spectre Paranormal Investigations. I am a writer was a writer for Taps Para magazine. The magazine doesn't get published anymore. I write for Paranormal Pop Culture. I lecture on all kinds of great topics, whether it's alternative health, whether it's paranormal, whether it's conspiracy. I have been a speaker at not a speaker, but I've been on the banner at every SalemCon. So, got that one for me.
You said words last SalemCon.
Words are good.
Words are good.
Now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Mark. So yeah, no, we've been doing this for a long time. We met Mark and Lauren, 250 years ago, and
probably more.
Yeah, and it's you meet people. It's like Carl. When I first met you, man, I didn't know you from Adam. There's just something about you that's like, man, you're like my brother. I think the world of you. That's how I felt when I met Mark. Lauren, I don't think there's anybody on the face of the planet that doesn't like Lauren. Except myself.
EVPs would beg to differ.
I said on the face of the planet.
That's true.
Not on the other plane.
Yes, see, on the other plane, they don't like me so much. But here, yes, perhaps.
Yes. So, you get great energy like that, and it's just fun to be with all you guys and love to investigate. Carl, I don't think you and I have ever investigated, but I think that would be a trip.
Yeah, normally I'm running around making sure groups are in the right places, right, and making sure that MJ's less stressed and everything like that. So when you've been over, obviously at Sage. So yeah, but there's plenty of time to investigate, and I'm going to be in the States a little bit more next year, so you never know. You never know where I might pop up.
All right.
Isabella.
Oh, my turn? So I am a psychic medium, or whatever label this decade is labeling it. And I see human spirits. I do not see dead people because, according to my nephew, those are zombies. I see, So I see non-human entities, and I just help people with some readings, and I'm a part of this great team traveling together and just going through life laughing with this team. It's a good group.
And Bella's so pretty.
and she creates some amazing pieces that you show at conventions that you sell as well.
Yep, we do Twisted Intention. It is a furniture rehab type of I guess, effort. And we take furniture and twist it and make it macabre. We do spirit boards out of kitchen tables. So we have fun with that kind of stuff.
Mm. And I can personally say that what I saw at Salem, if we could have sorted out the shipping, I probably would have bought a few bits. But the shipping was a little bit high.
Yeah. Yeah. And we still have not sold that table, Carl.
Yeah, well, keep it in mind. I'll put it in my hand luggage at some point.
We can take it apart. You can reassemble it there.
Hey, don't you know Harry Potter? Don't you know one of those bags that kind of like fit in everything, right?
Yeah, I must admit, it's
Mary Poppins.
Oh, yeah.
That's Hermione Granger.
Yes,
just so you know.
Thank you, Laura.
Hermione Granger.
It's one of those urban myths that the Americans think that the British do, that the British know everybody.
Yes,
I guess do you know the Queen, or do you know...
Wait, my son-in-law is British. Do you know him?
Wait, don't you? Wait, this isn't true?
Well, I know a few people, but nobody in royalty.
No royalty?
No royalty, no.
No Hermione?
Hermione, no. I've met Daniel Craig. Not Daniel Craig, that's James Bond.
Yes.
I did meet Daniel Radcliffe once on a tube train.
Oh, cool.
That's probably as close as I got to Hermione Granger. So just going back, obviously you guys have been in the field for probably longer than dirt, to be truthfully honest, because you've been going around and doing this amazing journey of you guys. And some of the experiences that you guys must have had over the years. I'm not going to be doing the normal radio shows like telling me your scariest moments or anything like that. I'm just interested in like your first experience in the paranormal. What sort of because everybody has it. Everybody has that moment which you go, hang on, this is interesting. This is something I want to look at. I want to progress more. What was that moment for you guys?
Oh wow, crickets. All right, I guess I'll go first. Yes, can everyone hear me? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay. I like everybody else. I think like a lot of people in the paranormal had experiences when I was a kid, but I think looking back on the experiences I've had more recently, it would be when I worked at Fort William Henry, and I was finishing up a ghost tour one night, and the ghost tours were nothing like what we expect out of the paranormal. They were like the cheesy, ridiculous things that I honestly hated them. But anyway, back to the point. And I was saying goodbye to the guests that had come that night, and they were leaving through the entrance of the fort, which also sits at the sutler shop, which is like the gift shop. And I saw, with my own eyes, it looked like Predator, right? That's, if we can all remember what the movie Predator is, that's what this figure, that same like shimmery thing. And it was the figure of a Native American. It was an Indian. He had the feather headdress. He had the what do you call it? Bow. And he had the hatchet. All of those things. And he was crouching, walking from one end of the shop to the other. I didn't say anything, because if I said something, they would all have thought I was crazy, and I would have been in they would have taken me away. But for that right there, I thought to myself, okay, that wasn't normal. I need to figure out what the hell I just saw. Like, am I nuts? Do I need meds? Have I been up too late? And then, of course, like experiences after that happened to me at the fort kind of solidified the fact that what I had seen was paranormal, and that got me into it.
Cool. So, did you ever see that figure again?
In a different way, yes. The next time that I saw it, it didn't look like the Predator. I saw the full shadow of it, and that was down in the same building, but down in the basement level.
So it presented itself like a dark figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was interesting.
That's a good experience.
Yeah.
That's not some
cool.
door shutting or you seeing
No.
or something like that.
But I have to clarify that, for everybody sees different things and everyone's experiences are different. I see things like that. I'm lucky enough to be able to see things like that. For someone else, it might be like the door slammed and they might go, holy crap, what the hell was that? For me, it was like that. It was that top level, and it was awesome.
Oh, no. What about yourself, Mark?
So for me,
take a drink first.
Oh, okay. Hang on. 10 seconds.
Oh, chug.
Oh, that was delicious. Okay. So I'm drinking an IPA, by the way. Do you have IPAs in England? I don't know if there's IPAs there.
There is IPA brewery. Okay. There's actually a brewery called IPA.
I love it.
Well,
so yeah, it's up in the Midlands, not far from the location where Sage Paragon's from.
Oh, nice.
Shameless plug for Sage Paragon.
Well, I have to, or MJ kills me. You know MJ.
So my journey was a little different. I was curious by watching the TV shows that I had possibly had some experiences when I was younger. So what happened for me was my curiosity got the better of me. I saw through Twitter that there was an event happening in Western Massachusetts. At the time, I was living in Northeastern Massachusetts. It was about a 3.5-hour drive for me to do, but I wanted to go. So I rounded up a couple of friends. We drove out. On my way out there, I stopped at a little hardware store or electronics store, and I picked up my first digital recorder. I bought that recorder. It was a little white Olympus that I still use today. Went to this event. It was at Houghton Mansion in North Adams, Massachusetts, which, look up, it's been on Ghost Adventures. It's been on all the shows. Houghton was more intense than I could have ever imagined. The event itself was fun. There were a couple people from the TV shows there, a couple from Ghost Hunters, and they sort of took us all through, this is how we kind of go through our EVP sessions, and this is how we like to make contact. And I had an experience while I was there, down in the basement. I found a way to get away by myself, and we had maybe small groups of 10 or 15 people. And by this time of night, it had dwindled down. As most events, people get tired, they walk away, they leave. So we had a smaller group at that time, and I found a spot in the basement where I could kind of be by myself for a few moments, and I was doing an EVP session with my recorder, and I felt something touch the center of my back. As if, if you go to step back and someone puts their hand out, like, don't back into me, that's what I felt. And I turned, nobody was there, like, not even remotely near me, several rooms away. And I just stood there for a minute going, did I really just feel that? I kind of shifted my shirt to see if maybe my sweatshirt had settled, and I couldn't do it again. It sent chills up and down my spine. So for me, that was my first quote-unquote paranormal experience. I went home from that event, put on my headphones, because now it was the next day and I was all jazzed up, put on my headphones, locked myself in my room, and I could not believe that I had actually captured EVPs that night and ghost voices. It's the only way I could really describe it at the time. And it was my very first EVP that I know for a fact couldn't have been anyone in the room. This was a Class A for me. Joe Chin was describing in the room where all the devices were that the spirits could use to communicate with everyone. And he said, some of us have some devices, some are holding them in their hands. You can speak into those. Right after he said that, into my recorder, I heard a whisper that went, right there. And I dropped my headphones and I go, no, this can't be. Played it back. And it was just, for me, I was like, I'm done. I'm in. Let's do this. I'm going to start ghost hunting. So that was my first modern experience as a kid. I obviously, going back to there, like, skip those things. Yeah. Everybody had those if we're in the paranormal. But yeah, that was my modern day experience.
Can I butt in a second?
Absolutely.
Obviously, I'm going to connect with Mark a little bit because obviously, like you say, your first experience was through TV shows. That's how mine first started. So I was watching the TV shows, obviously what we get over here, and then I saw an event, local ghost hunt advertised, and then, I had to go, and, as they say in this field or anywhere in life, the rest is history.
That's awesome.
So
it's so cool. And at that time, those events, having them, that's why we love doing the events too, because inevitably you get somebody there who hasn't had an experience before, and you look and you cross your fingers and hope something's going to happen for that person, that they're going to get their experience at that time. And that's awesome, because I can connect completely with that, because I didn't know what to expect going there, but I saw that it was happening. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go. These guys are pros. Yeah. I'm going to go. So that's cool.
Isabelle, obviously, being a psychic medium, when did you first realise that you had the ability, and what was your first experience in the paranormal related to your psychic mediumship?
So my mom tells these stories because I don't remember them because I was too young. But we were in Jerome, Arizona. It's an old ghost mining town. I think they did copper or something like that. And she said we were traveling between a couple of these old towns. And she said that I stood up from the back seat. I couldn't have been more than 3 or 2. She said it was the time where you can barely hold sentences. She said I got from the back seat, held these complete sentences, and told her how I killed a white Indian on this mountain, and told her everything about it. She said she didn't ask me any questions. She just let me talk. And she said, as soon as we passed this one spot, I went right back to my playing with my dolls, and it was my broken, 2-year-old talk. And she goes, it freaked her out. But I also used to, the same age, 3 or 4, would pick up a play telephone and tell her when people were coming over. And I would be talking to them. She knew immediately to clean the house because people would come over. That whomever I was talking to would absolutely come over that day. And one time I was talking to my aunt and said, "Oh, you had an accident," in baby talk. And she didn't come over. My mom found out later that my aunt had an accident. That's why she couldn't come over. So I've had experiences since that little. My first entity was 12 years old that I remember seeing.
So, just going back briefly, you were driving along on a road past this ghost town, and then you then spoke out and said you killed a white Indian. A white Indian.
Yes, I did some research on what that meant. It was it's a term for a Scottish fur trader.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Wow.
I know. I didn't even know what a white Indian was. It's like, what's a white Indian? And
that's what caught my ears. I was like, what is a white Indian?
At 2 years old, I would be using those terms. In my day, we didn't have the TV that we have now, so there's no way I could have picked that up or heard that.
No, that's kind of blown me away a bit.
They didn't have talkies back in your day, Bella.
Emoji.
All right.
They had telegraph. It was fine.
Oh, Corinne, just get my side.
I am on your side. Come on, that was gold.
That's true. Fair.
Right. Trying to control you once again. What about yourself, Frank? Because obviously you've been doing it for quite a while as well. What would be your standout moment?
Right. So Bella has never told me that story before, and I got to say I'm a little freaked out right now.
Well, I seem to be able to make people tell me secrets that they've never told people before.
You're the best. So for me, like all of us, I as a kid, I saw shit, stuff happened, and it was weird, and I never thought much of it. And I was always told I had, your imagination and whatever. So I started to pursue this, and everything I could get my hands on to read about paranormal, I would do. And then, Leonard Nimoy hosted a show, In Search Of, right? And he'd go looking for Bigfoot or whatever. And I'm like, this is the coolest shit ever. I want to do this. As I got to college, one of my first roommates in the fraternity was also into the paranormal. He's the one who taught me how to do EVPs. So I had this little portable, little reel-to-reel recorder, right? Because I am that old. And we had a cemetery across the street. So Danny and I would go over and sit in the cemetery all night getting these freaking recordings. And the first EVP I heard was there in the cemetery, and it blew me away. And that's the one that really kind of locked me in. And it's funny because I love EVPs, and I really don't get a lot of them.
No, you don't, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I have a box full of recorders. Mark talked about that little white Olympus. I got one of those. I have a box full of freaking recorders.
Yeah.
Trying to find one that
Works for you.
That works for me.
That's true.
But when I get them, they're good. We a few years ago, I was filming a pilot for Spike. We're on break, and the one guy and I were out. We're at Fort Mifflin. We're out behind the officers' quarters, and we're just goofing around. We got the recorder running, and so we listen back. We're like, "Did you just hear that?" Like, yeah. We listen again. It says, "Get the fuck out." Clear as day. Beep. Oh, thanks. It says, "Get the bleep out." I bleeped over the word fuck.
Carl, do you need some Tums, honey?
No, I'm fine.
So the producer.
Poor Sam's like, I'm not even saying anything. I'm done.
Yeah. But this gets better. We go, right, and everybody's on break. They're in the room with craft service and so on and so forth. And the producers said, we grab him. It's Alan, come here. Puts the headphones on. He listens. He got white as a ghost. He threw those fucking headphones. He's like, "You guys are creepy." It's part of the story.
It's that's fine. If it's part of the story, relax.
He used air quotes.
Anyway.
I like that.
It's been a nice
Poor Frank.
It's
Go
been
ahead,
a nice
Frank.
radio career, this.
Finish your story. We all got to finish except for Frank. That's not fair.
I'm done.
So he threw the headphones down and went bleep.
It's all right. So that was just a cool EVP story. That's all I got.
Yeah. Frank, you've had many cool experiences since, though.
Not with EVPs.
Really?
Not when I'm doing them.
No,
now,
he doesn't.
When Mark's doing them, holy cow, we get some amazing shit.
What about what we got last week?
I didn't get it.
Mark got
it.
So when you were saying you didn't get it, do you mean you weren't holding the recorder or you weren't asking the question?
No, it's like when I use my recorder or I'm holding the recorder, I barely get anything. Right? Somebody else, like Bella, has the real time. She gets great EVPs. Mark's got the DR60. He gets amazing shit. And it's like in Charlie Brown, man. I got to rock.
Aw, no.
Lauren, he gets the Echovox to work, though.
Yeah, okay. So Echovox works for him very well because he gets a lot of good stuff on that.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing what he can get off of Echovox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must admit, the first time I met you, Frank, and you did the Echovox at Warwick Castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd actually seen the Echovox actually being used. I'd had a little play around, but never on an investigation. And some of the stuff that you were getting through that, I was just obviously I was only in there for a brief moment while I was moving people around. But I was blown away by just literally seeing it for about 5-10 minutes. But the people that were coming out after your sessions were just going. It just kept on going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was just an okay night. Carl, we had, like, last week, Lauren and I were using this thing, and was it last week, Lauren?
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't even believe it was almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, holy cow! So we were doing an event at the Payne House, right? And they split us up. Mark was investigating with Lauren in a group, or with Bella in a group. Lauren and I had another group, and we were getting such great stuff.
Yeah.
And we switched areas. We were out in the barn. We were getting German come through the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
That was really cool.
That was one of the guys in the group spoke German. When I was over in the UK, and we were down in the what was it? The King's Room, the
Kingmaker. Yeah.
Kingmaker. We were getting French come through.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's no German, there's no French, there's no foreign language in the database.
Right. That comes through because someone's trying to get you a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark
is over here grinning from ear to ear because he wants to tell you about Echovox so bad.
No, that's not it at all. I'm over here going, is Kingmaker Room just another name for a bedroom? Like, is that a royal bedroom?
The Kingmaker Room at Warwick Castle.
I would need a boy.
Was where the king was knighted.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you
Got
make
it.
I like
the
that.
king. So
All I could see was Jamie.
Jimmy Lannister.
Jamie Lannister, even though it's Kingslayer.
well, that probably went on there as well. But no, we've got to get you over, Mark, to the UK and show you some of these places, and obviously Lauren as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, yeah, she can come too. Meanwhile, he's the one that doesn't fly, so I would have to punch him in the face to get him on the plane. And
It's still what they used to do with BA in the A team, drug him.
That's right. I tell everybody all the time, you want me on a plane? Mr. T, my ass.
Wait, but listen.
Feed him a hamburger and then he's fine.
Yeah, and you know what? You're getting the chains. You're getting, like, the wristbands. You're getting the whole get-up.
I've come to, I'm getting off the plane in the UK. I'm like, what the hell is the change? I got a mohawk all of a sudden.
Funny over there.
Bring him off like Hannibal Lecter on the with a little mask.
If that's what we've got to do to get you in the UK, that's what we're working on.
Oh, it's got to be Bella pushing the cart, though, dressed like the nurse with the... Oh, my God. Oh, brilliant. All right, go on with your questions. I know you have a show to do here.
It's fine.
Sorry, we're out of time.
This is the kind of shows I don't want to be like as people that listen to the show. Not the like question. It's what I like to do the show is like it's friends talking down the pub, having a drink, having a laugh, and that's how I like to do the shows. I don't like this, that. That's why I don't have any questions in front of me. I listen to what you're saying. I react from what you're saying and the question.
So after this, can we go to the Winchester and wait for the whole thing to blow over?
Yes, have a pint, wait for the whole thing to blow over.
That's yes, Shaun of the Dead, great.
he's like great British joke. You suck. Yeah. I hate you.
You're just it's taking me back to Salem all over again.
I love it. We'll sing you happy birthday.
Thanks.
Coral.
Poor Sam's like having coffee, kicking back. I'm not.
After I left Salem, I was at the airport with MJ, and I was queuing up to check in, and just out of nowhere came that thing that had haunted me for the whole 10 days I was there, which was the long coal bit. I was just looking around, but it was somebody else shouting to somebody else. I'm like, what the? We're going to come on to Salem Con in a minute. I just want to go to Frank and Isabella. Yes. Obviously, you guys have been doing the convention circuits for quite a while,
right?
As you said, you've been on the poster of every single Salem Con. Yes. Obviously, you were there this year hosting the panel, which was really, really good. How did you get into that? How did you suddenly go from going out and investigating, getting yourself out there, to actually doing your first convention, the pair of you? Because obviously, there's a big step you have to take to go to do that.
It involves alcohol.
Most conventions do.
You get the promoter drunk, and they think you're awesome, and they say, "Oh, you really got to be at my convention." And I'm like, "All right." Wait, Mark's doing selfies. So it's selfieism. It's a form of Marfan's. Got to have like the right arm length.
Oh, you do. Yeah. Mark has it.
So no, here's how it happened. So I had been going to conventions for a long time, and just going, and I was always there as a guest of a friend of mine who always spoke at these conventions. So you get to know all the people, right? Mm-hmm. I went to the first Parahistory Con at Fort William Henry, and that's where I met Lauren and what's his name?
It slips my mind.
Yeah. So then we were at Parafest in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And we're having a great night. It was costume night. I was Zombie Colonel Sanders, which is the best costume ever. I had a chicken bone coming out my neck. It was great. So the promoter of that event was there, and we're BSing and so, and he's like, yeah, man, I got to have you out to the next one, and da-da-da-da-da. So that was the first one, and I was on a panel there. But that was the first one that I was officially on the banner. And so I had done little investigative events prior to that, none where I was vocal at all. And from there, it just was like, oh, yeah, you did that. You want to do this? Okay, do that. So on and so forth.
Because I've obviously known you guys and I've had the luck of being to several conventions and stuff like that. Sometimes I look around and I have to pinch myself when I'm standing in a bar or having a drink or at the tailgate party and just look around and look at the people I'm actually potentially having a drink with. When you see, hang on, that's like Scott Grimwald or Grant Wilson or these sort of guys and yourselves, and it's just like, how did I get to this spot? And you just have to like take a deep breath, because you suddenly realise these people that you've watched on TV or you've researched or you've looked at, suddenly you then realise, hang on, they're actually friends and become family. Yeah. And that's what I love about the paranormal industry, is that once you get into it and you start talking to people, that's one reason I started doing the radio, was I can waffle on and I can chat for England. And I can just do it with my friends. I can chat to my friends and I'm about doing it. And that's the biggest thing about is the family atmosphere and everything like that. And you guys, particularly Frank and Isabella, you helped me through a very difficult time last September when we were in Vegas.
Yep.
To take my mind off certain things that happened a couple of weeks before. And this is why I absolutely love doing what I do, because you guys have become family. Mark and Lauren, I count you as family now.
Aww.
But no, because at the end of the day, you made me so welcome at Salem. You didn't have to do that. I'm just some Brit that just turned up with a loudmouth.
They did, Carl. They did.
That's right. Frank threatened me behind closed doors.
That would explain harm. That would explain a lot.
You know something? No, hold on one second, though. You're going on about this, but we did have to do that because I didn't know who you were. I had heard about you. I hadn't met you yet. Lauren and I had not met you yet. But when you meet you have to be that way. You're such a lovable guy. You're a great personality. You have so much good juju just oozing from your body that you have to be that way with you, man. You're an awesome soul. And we're very happy to have made your acquaintance, because it's like I said, we had heard about you. We didn't know who Carl was. And then we got to meet you.
Careful.
And honest to God, it was like, man, this guy's good. He's a good soul. You got to love this guy. So, yeah, we did have to do it.
Yeah. And I will get you back for getting me on stage and singing Happy Birthday. Because I was having a nice conversation with Isabella tucked away in the back like I like to be, chatting away and then getting dragged through the whole crowd. And the video of me and getting kissed on the lips by Scott Grimwald. Still wake up with nightmares over that.
Did you get your shots after that, by the way? You should have probably got some shots after that.
Yeah, I did. Okay. A lot of bourbon went down my neck to just take the taste away.
Listen, that it never goes away, that scent. The Grunwald scent.
No, it doesn't.
Lingering.
I've got the bits, and he random stuff that he comes out and just sends me, and the places we have, it's just weird.
So just for the record, whenever I get a private message from Scott, I cringe before I open it because I'm not quite sure what it's going to be.
Well, typically because he'll send you, it's not just a, hey, what's up? It's like Scott sent you an attachment or a picture, and you're like, oh, Jesus, what is on the other end?
Please don't.
I got to make sure nobody else is around when I open it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Mark, just obviously, Frank and Isabella have just talked about the conventions. Now, I know, obviously, MJ, when her decision behind doing Sage for the first time. How did you decide from going to a convention to deciding, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put on a convention?
It's a great question, and it's actually a pretty interesting story. So I will give you the abridged version of the interesting story. I too went to ParaHistoryCon 1. And the reason I went to ParaHistoryCon 1 was because I won tickets. I wasn't going to go. I really wanted to, but I didn't have the funds at the time to do it. And lo and behold, I won a pair of tickets to go to VIP passes to ParaHistoryCon. So I'm like, what do I do now? I asked a friend of mine. He said, yeah, I'll go. And I said, geez, I didn't tell him I won the tickets, but I'm like, I've got these 2 tickets. I'm like, all you have to do is pay for the hotel. Oh yeah, great. So he paid for the hotel.
He's going to listen to this and hate you forever.
So that's how I got out to ParaHistoryCon. So he paid for the hotel. I had the tickets to the event. We went out, had a blast, met everybody, kind of met Lauren, but didn't quite meet her till shortly after that. Met Frank, talked to Frank about some stuff because I actually had a feeling at the time that I had a little bit of something going on, of an attachment, and he gave me some advice as to how to take care of it. He probably doesn't even remember that, but it was at the VIP party that he did it. So then, after that, I was friends with the event organizer. We chatted and chatted. He invited me to join his team, the event portion. Lauren was invited to join his team. That's how Lauren and I sort of became as a package deal.
Yeah, I met Frank before I met Mark.
Right.
Oh, what?
And we were on the organizing committee. We were part of ParaHistoryCon 2. So
bless you.
Bless you, sir.
Oh, bless
yes.
you.
Thank you.
ParaHistoryCon 2 happens. We are part of it, but it's also, we were notified it's the final ParaHistoryCon. So we chatted with the gentleman who organized it and said, geez, this is such a great event. Look at all these people you brought together. If you're not going to do it anymore, can we take that format and can we host an event in its place? And they said, yeah, go ahead.
No,
yeah.
They said no. They said no to where it was.
Yeah, we couldn't do it there, but we said that's fine. So we
said, we'll do something where we are.
So lo and behold, that was the story. We took off with it, and there's SalemCon. So that's how we decided to do it. So we had a little bit of a blueprint. We tweaked it a little bit to make it ours, and here we go, SalemCon.
I mean, everyone can wear the same jeans, but everyone looks different in them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the events have the same type of format, but they're all different in terms of what you expect out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fat bottom, some are skinny jeans.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, girl, you looking good in the jeans.
You looking good. You looking good in those SalemCon jeans, girlfriend. I like your phenomenology pants. Where'd you get them Sage t-shirts? I like the way you fit you.
Right.
Will the Winchester have a pint? Let the whole thing blow over?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be doing.
Good plan.
So obviously, your SalemCon is taking a break for next year.
Yes.
Would that be any reason because of your current work that you're doing on your demonology side of stuff?
I wish. You know what? I wish that was the excuse.
When I heard about it and everything like that because I didn't know that part of what you did.
Yeah.
And obviously you've been under the tutelage of the Godfather, obviously John Zaffis.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, so hold on. Mark, can I tell the story?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
From Gettysburg.
Yes.
Another one?
God.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So every year we go to Gettysburg. Jen, Mark, Lauren, me, Bella, and John shows up for a couple of days. So we're there the one night, and we're, just doing our thing, our paranormal thing. And, John starts about, Mark, you should write a book. I can't do the accent of John, but and Mark's like, well, what would the title be? And he says, The Apprentice.
Yeah, just like that too, and that matter of fact, like, how'd you not know that, dumbass?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Like.
So Mark was like a deer in the headlights. He got pale and his mouth dropped open. He's like, I didn't know if he was going to cry or start laughing. But it was a moment. That was the moment.
Yeah.
It was official because it's been 2-3 years?
It's going on 3. Yeah, it's like 3 years now.
Yeah. All right. So 3 years that John and Mark have been working, and Mark's been studying and learning and so on and so forth. John has had others.
Let him tell his story now.
No, let him go. He can go. Let Frank go.
No, let him go.
So rudely
Oh my
interrupted.
God, he's telling like,
How rude.
oh, help me.
So John has worked with others before, and they all have just turned on him and so on and so forth. And then, correct me if I'm wrong here, Mark, but he swore he was not going to, do that kind of thing again. So when he called Mark the Apprentice, that was like a huge moment. And dude, I am like
It was huge.
thrilled
It was huge.
that we were there for that.
Yeah.
It's a trust issue with John. I mean, and then rightfully so, because of who his
Screwed him over before.
who his relatives are and what he's been doing for his whole life. People are going to be like that. So it's a trust issue for him. So, he trusts Mark, he trusts us. So
Yeah. That was huge.
Well, he
I
trusts
love
you
you guys.
He's not sure about it yet.
I love you guys. But so Salem Con, we've been threatening for a few years now that it was going to be the last Salem Con.
And why have we been doing that?
We've been threatening for a few years that it was going to be the last Salem Con.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was going to be time for a break. So we did. We decided this past one was going to be it. We needed to just sort of collect ourselves, because it takes a lot, especially for Lauren, to run the event, because honest to God, it's like I get all these ideas and she's the one that's like, okay, we've got to do this, this, and this to make it happen. And, sometimes we do it, sometimes it falls a little short, but at the end of the day, the event works and it happens and people have fun. And we took a step back. We said, geez, maybe we should think about doing something similar, but somewhere else, just to shake it up a little bit. That didn't happen. Thing that was very difficult for no apparent reason. And then we said, maybe we can do it again. And we actually did check into it, and the dates just didn't work. The only date that was available would be Easter weekend, and there's no way we could possibly run an event on Easter weekend. So we said, let's check into 2021. And Lauren and I talked, and with her blessing, we looked into it, and they said, yeah, we have this weekend available. It's the last weekend in April. We're like, let's do it. We're done. 2021. Yeah. Let's do it. So SalemCon 6, 2021. It's going to happen. Yeah. So that's why it has nothing to do with the demonology point. But that, for me, that was a big step. That was John sort of has a way of taking you out of your comfort zone sometimes. And we were at Portland, Maine, up at the Paracon in Portland, Maine. And I started doing I had a half-hour lecture I was doing in there. And I had plans to do my half-hour lecture on just sort of jibber-jabbering about, techniques and things like that. And I start to talk, and I see everybody's eyes shift to the door. So I turn and I look at the door, and there's John. And I went, crap, what's he doing here? And he goes, ask him about demonology, ask him who he's studying under, ask him this, and then he walks away. And I'm like, and now everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, I guess this is where we're going today. So, all right.
And then he came back to the table and gave me a high five.
So that was my coming out party, and yeah, after that it was
Mark.
So
Aren't we though?
So there you go. So yes, I can now officially say I'm a demonologist, and I'm the apprentice to John Zaffis. So
can we do Gilligan's Island?
Gilligan's
The
Island.
doctor, the psychic, the demonologist, me.
Marianne.
Carl can be Ginger.
for those listening at home, Carl just removed his hat to look at his hair to realize he's not
If I was
ginger.
ginger. I know I've got a bit of ginger in my beard, but I don't know where that.
Ginger or I'm Marianne. Am I Marianne?
I have no idea who Marianne is. So.
Oh,
What?
boo!
No. I no, Gilligan's Island. I've never.
Oh, we'll have to.
Say more.
No.
Oddly enough, Carl, you were right on cue because ginger is a ginger. So just so you know.
Well, I thought I took a lot.
So wait a minute.
Of ginger.
So getting back to paranormal, I have a question for Mark.
Okay.
Okay. So, Carl, not to take over your show. What are you drinking, Carl?
Flat Coke because I've been told it settles stomach.
Really? What?
That's right.
What hand were you drinking that with?
Oh,
Anywho.
I can't believe you just caught me.
So, my question for Mark. So, putting on paranormal events, is that like dating? If you're taking a break, can you do other events?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's enough Xanax in the world for me to be able to do that.
You know, I think that you can, Frank. I'm going judges.
Judges?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we're
yeah.
going-
You can do other events. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going with yes.
Sometimes multiple events in one night.
Sex is cheating. No sex is cheating.
Bella, we're talking about events. What? What? What is
Well, this is my random thought. I was thinking, are you
All right.
really cheating? Are
So-
you like?
So, like Paul Harvey says, here's the rest of the story. Before Bella was part of Ghost Detectives, I was filming at the Kitty Knight House, okay? And that's in Maryland. Miss Kitty Knight stopped the entire British Armada by herself by meeting with the Admiral for several hours. So her house and a few others were the only ones that weren't burned. Okay. Later, as they were rebuilding, it became a woman's home.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty Knight must have some amazing tea.
There's a naked painting of her over the bar. She was pretty hot. So, anyway, one of the claims is if you're in Kitty's room and she likes you, she pulls the covers up over you, right? So we're there, and I'm like, okay, somebody's got to lay in the bed, and because I was getting a lot of responses on, we were using the portal at the time. They said, all right, you lay in the bed. I'm laying in the bed, and I swear to God, it felt like somebody climbed on top of me and was kind of grinding on me.
I remember this story. I feel like you've told this. Yes.
Oh yeah.
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 So
Oh yeah, he sold it.
we get an EVP of a moan. Not a ghostly moan, a pleasurely moan.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so we're done. We're on break. I go out in the parking lot. And I immediately text Bella, is ghost sex cheating?
Yeah.
Did you really send a text?
Yes,
I
he did.
did.
He did. He really did.
I was confused, Laura.
So I wrote back,
What was
yes.
your reply, Isabel?
What?
What was your reply to that text?
Yes,
Have you
it's
been drinking?
cheating. Knock it off.
You can't see it. How can you
No,
knock it?
not the first time that's happened. Not the last either.
Oh my god.
And you say you don't catch any EVPs anymore.
What?
No, but I might have caught something else.
Oh.
Ghost. Bad. So back to the point where I was talking. So Mark is when you were talking about the now I forgot.
She's very pretty, Carl.
Bella's so
She's
pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Frank Petter.
Phrase it. So never mind.
Carl, what's your next question?
I have no idea where this is going.
Kill Philip.
Okay, Frank, you mentioned briefly about ghost detectives.
Yes.
One thing I've always wanted to discuss with you because I've never actually had a chance to talk about it. How did that concept come up with, and where's it gone now? Facebook Live you do at some weird location, like the biggest onion ring or whatever it was, or whatever it was.
Exactly. So
some random thing at the side of the road. This is the biggest or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it was in the death chute. It was the body
chute at Hanover
in the
Cemetery.
Yeah, and I got stuck there because
Bob forgot about you.
Because Bob forgot about me. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Because it's Bob, and he has short-term memory issues. Love you, Bob.
He also.
But so, Ghost Detectives is a local Pennsylvania show, and it's about real ghost hunting. Yeah, it's edited a little bit, but it's boring compared to the other shows. You know what I mean? Because we don't do. We will put an hour of us sitting there getting nothing, because that's what happens when you really ghost hunt. So Ghost Detectives, I was not originally part of. I was came in season 7, I think.
Yeah, it's Bob's stuff.
Yeah. And it was like one of those things, you're in the right place at the right time. You're having a good time. It's like, hey, you want to do an episode with us? We're going to do a Bigfoot hunt. It's like, shit, yeah, I want to do a Bigfoot hunt. Then after the Bigfoot hunt, they're like, well, do you want to join us? I'm like, all right, why not? It's cool and pleasant places to investigate. It's
great group of people.
It's an adventure. Group. Yeah, great group of people too. So last year, we had a production company reach out, and they're like, well, yeah, we want to do this, that, and the other. So we did a lot of filming, but nothing ever got put together. And there's a lot of different reasons for that on both sides. So I won't get into that. But we've left that production company, and we're back doing it by ourselves. And they filmed the first episode for the season
2 weeks ago.
I'm entranced by the fish. Anyway, we were with Mark and Lauren at the time, so
we're at Paint House.
We're at the Paint House,
which was awesome sauce.
It really was.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that place was so cool.
So was the place we went the night before. Or earlier that day. Not even the night before. Earlier that day.
I was going to say the night before with the hot tub. The hot tub.
The hot tub was nice.
The hot tub with the lava.
Mark.
What?
He's recreating the hot tub scene.
Talk about your
By the way.
What's Carl?
When you walk into a hotel hot tub and there's a girl in there wearing I don't know, a thread, it kind of gets distracting for a moment.
It is. It was lit. Carl, it was like floss.
Carl.
It was like floss. Carl. With a gauze pad on the front. That's what it was. Floss and gauze.
I think she was Russian too. I'm not sure.
His show has gone so far off the rails right now.
He's going to be editing for like 4 hours.
No. This is going out live. This is going to go out as is.
All right, what's your next question?
I'm not going to make you look good and just like these very professional executives. This is going out as is.
We are who we are, Carl.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the major key about obviously doing live shows and stuff like that. You can't edit it. You are what you are, and I think that's what makes it you guys as lovable as you are, because you are what you see. So.
Yeah.
True.
You don't got to guess where we're coming from.
That is true. We've got a little bit longer to go, so I'm just gonna. What's going on in the future for the rest of the year for you guys?
Ooh. We have? Oh, we do have Fitzwilliam. We have Fitzwilliam coming up.
The Fitzwilliam event. Right.
The Fitzwilliam event coming up in November.
Are there tickets left for that?
I think there are 2 rooms.
There are those tickets.
2 tickets, right?
2 tickets?
Yeah.
To Paradise. 2 tickets to Paradise, baby.
I think there are 2
There you go. Pack your bags, Mark. We'll leave tonight.
That's right.
So, Fitzwilliam, we did this last year. What a great freaking place this is. It's up in New Hampshire, right? It's a little, what is it, a bed and breakfast kind of hotel, or I'm not even sure what the hell to call it. But it,
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hotel.
Yeah. Motel. Holiday Inn.
Holiday.
Gotcha. So that was a great time. So we're all going to be there. You guys going to be anywhere else?
No.
No, we're good for the rest of the year, actually.
All right.
So
Bella and I are going to be at Selma Mansion in Norristown, Pennsylvania. That's another one of the cool historic places. And
At the end of the month.
that's at the end of the month?
Yeah, 9/27, 28, I think.
I don't know.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I rely on Bella for dates. 'Cause
That's a sad thing.
I know.
So the funny part is this time of year, Halloween's coming up. I don't know about Frank and Bella, but I like to take a back seat. I rarely even do investigations this time of year because it seems like everybody's house is haunted all of a sudden when Halloween rolls around.
Yeah.
It's like drinking on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's for the rookies.
Plus, I have like 4 nights of a Charlie Brown Halloween to watch, so
Nice.
whatever. Busy. I'm out waiting for the Great Pumpkin. Just saying.
Yeah,
So,
well,
Frank, did you manage to find anywhere that's selling Halloween stuff yet? Because I know you had a tour down.
Before we get to that, I have one more thing. I have a library talk on Monday in Berwick, Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We have several library talks coming up in October. I forgot about those. Yeah.
So we got some library lectures, some smaller events, but otherwise nothing big, nothing crazy.
What we'll do, for anybody listening, we'll be posting the links in the chat room. So anybody can see where these guys are. And if they are in the locations or wherever they want to do, they can go along and say hello. So we'll post all that in the chat room.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome. So, yes, we went out looking again last night for Halloween stuff. We went to Target this time.
nothing.
They were just putting some stuff out.
The shelves
That is crazy.
empty.
Which is funny to me because it used to be like we would complain if Halloween stuff was out in August, and now mid-August we're like, "Where's all the Halloween crap? What's happening?"
Exactly.
like
Christmas stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I don't know what's going on, but I agree with you because there really aren't many places that have a lot of Halloween stuff. Like Frank said, it's a lot of fall stuff.
Yeah.
But not specifically Halloween.
Yeah, because this is the weird thing. I watched your live, Frank, when you were talking about going to Target, Walmart, and I'd been to my local supermarket that morning, and I was like, "Why is there all this Halloween crap?"
Yeah.
Because we us in the UK don't go for Halloween as big as you guys out in the States. And there was literally 3 or 4 aisles of Halloween stuff in my local supermarket. And I was like, what is going on?
Wow.
Like
That's the reason I don't have any, because they were all shipped to you.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Like every house you guys live in is like 800 years old, and they're like, "Here's Halloween everywhere."
Yeah.
People here have new houses, and we can't get the creepy crap we want.
No, my house, 2014, this was built.
Oh, boo hiss! Just lie. 814. Oh, that's so cool, Carl. Wow.
Yeah, no, not 18. I wish it was 1814. No.
Wait, it was built in 2014 with wood from a reclaimed home in 814.
Yeah. There you go.
The only bit of wood in this house is probably the farmhouse kitchen table that I'm sitting in front of.
Oh, I like it.
But that came out of my mum and dad's house, so I don't know how old this is. So.
All right, so.
You know
what, Carl? You need a Ouija board table.
Yes.
I do need a Ouija board table.
Bella's gonna send you she's gonna send you the stencil and the paint, and you just do. It's like paint by numbers.
Oh,
Paint by numbers.
No. I can't. Yeah. It'll look like an explosion in a paint factory if I painted it.
Gonna beat you up. So back to talking about me, because the world revolves around me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 12. I did see my first apparition, full body apparition, solid, I woke up in the middle of the night, and on the chair that was in my bedroom, I saw this Indian. So back in the day when I was alive, and shut up, Lauren, I was alive like I'm dead now.
We need the Oscars music. Start playing Bella off. Like
in the UK, normally they just turn the lights off.
Okay, but wait. So they, I only had like, there was 3 TV shows. The Happy Days, some other things. And this is when TV would go off at 10 p.m., right? So you get the static stuff. So we weren't exposed to culture. So the apparition that appeared in my room was actually Indian with a turban on his head, with the sari that they wear and stuff like that. I didn't even recognize it until years later that's what, he was an Indian from India. It's like, okay, that was my first apparition I saw fully solid in.
Was that when you were in Arizona when you were young?
No, I lived in Pennsylvania once before. This was actually in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to wonder why there would be an Indian in a turban out somewhere.
A spirit guide, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't uncomfortable. I looked at him, saw him in the room, and just went back to sleep. So I wasn't uncomfortable. It wasn't like I was trying to protect myself. I just looked at him. It wasn't like the time when I saw the gargoyle thing in my room.
Oh, okay.
Bella?
Yes.
This didn't happen on 7-Eleven, did it?
What?
I think you have to block that out. Beep.
Oh, Carl's like, I need way stronger Coke than this flat soda.
No.
This is not helping my stomach.
Exactly. The radio crew's been nice, and it's coming to an end tonight. No, I'm only joking. No, we are coming to the end of the show. I just want to quickly do.
It's okay, Carl. Continue. Don't listen to the chat.
I am trying. I just want to obviously what Frank was saying earlier when obviously meeting for the first time, and obviously I met you in the UK with Isabella at Wroxall Abbey, and there was something you said to me that weekend which has stuck with me for quite a while. And you actually confirmed it as well, Isabella, when we were having the meal on the last night. Okay. And you were saying, both you and Frank both said at different times, neither of you were around each other at the time, and both said exactly the same thing to me. And they went, follow your passion, because your passion is always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand that at the time. But
Frank
I
said that?
now understand what it is because the passion
Yeah,
for what paranormal is for me has helped me through awkward moments and sad moments in my life. So I just want to say thank you to both of you for actually saying that to me, and I actually now realise what you meant. You might have don't even remember saying it to me or whatever, but that stuck with me to this day.
I remember, Carl, and you know what, man? You made me feel so welcome.
Sure.
Right? And I remember that first night sitting there with you and Sam and just having drinks in that little bar and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure you and I closed the bar down every night.
And then we took it to the car park.
Then we took it to the car park.
Yeah.
That's a parking lot for you guys.
Yeah.
I understand British. God.
I just thought I needed to translate.
That was my first experience of what I now know as a tailgate.
Tailgate.
So I guess there you would call it a boot gate.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
That's translate, does it?
Really, no, it doesn't really sound the same. So, right, we are coming up to the end.
He's like, get off my.
No. I'm just looking at the time, and I know I'm going to get shouted at. So, I'm going to wrap it up. So, I just want to personally say thank you to guys. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Isabella, for coming on the show. And it's an absolute pleasure, and I always have a laugh, and I always have a good time with you guys, and I can't wait to do it again soon. I want to thank everybody that's been in the chat room. I want to thank everybody that's been listening, and my partner in crime, Sam, who's in the background. But most of all, she's there somewhere. But yeah, like I said, Sam's the brains behind it. I just turn up and waffle.
You know what? We all believe that.
Yeah, most people go, yeah, you just talk. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Been a pleasure. Always had a great time. Hope everybody that's listening has enjoyed it. We will be back. We will get the guys back on. Maybe together again, maybe not, depending whether my sanity's come back by then. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. And to everybody that's listening, thank you very much. We will be back next Thursday at 9 o'clock. The guest will be announced shortly, but it's going to be a run-up to Sage Paracon. We're going to be talking to some of the speakers on the run-up to Sage Paracon. And obviously anybody that's going to be in, you guys might be interested. This on the 30th. We're going to be in the States as of the 1st of October in Vegas, and we're going to be doing a live radio show from Vegas, like I'm nuts as it already is, and I've been talked into doing a live show from Vegas.
Yeah,
it's going to go down well. But we're going to be talking about our trip, and we're going to be talking about the Haunted Museum, which we're going to be going back to. I'm also going to do my other little passion, and that's going to be doing my Area 51 stuff. So we'll be doing live shows. We'll be telling you more about it. But once again, thanks, guys, for coming on. And thanks, everybody, for listening. And we will see you next week. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Love you guys.
Thanks, Carl. Bye, Sam.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.